Well, I don't know about the meaning crisis, left, right, black, white, or other vices, but Jesus Christ is right, or if we're all saved. From my perspective, our propositions participate procedurally, running in circles. Remember and body, we're in the age of decay. Symbolically speaking, the reapers are reaping, them damn egregores are whispering sweetly. We're all NPCs in the belly of the beast. Red pill, blue pill, bread pill, Mars Hill, or DMT, or whatever you feel. Got one and number two, it's all the same damn thing. So clean your room, repent on Zoom, ontology for dummies, a bird's eye view. 'Cause if you really knew, could you really even say? Totally depraved, all totally saved, a total disposition from the bed we all made. Or is it the elect, or are we just insane? From John Vervaeke to Jonathan Pajot and Jordan Peterson to the Chris Pacou Show, Paul Vanderklays and Griswold Grimm and all the dice he shakes. The estuary ditty is a little bit cringy, ain't quite the U-shaped or the hero's journey. All the NPCs in the flood treading water to watch you save the day with a bunch of chitter-chatter. From the ortho bros to the Catholic Joes, or atheistic Jobs, to Protestant folks, the Joe Schmoes, and Jewish Jacobs, and everything in between. So love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul, with all your mind and your fingers and toes, all your neighbors too, as if they were your own. So love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul, and with all your mind and your fingers and toes, all your neighbors too, as if they were your own.
It's so weird with my face being on Paul's branding like that. I can't. I'm really stunned and offended that nobody made Paul his own branding. And it's okay. It's okay. Welcome today, everybody. We're doing a special episode because, you see, once upon a time, it came to be known to me that certain search engines preferred certain results. And if that's going to keep working, I don't, maybe they didn't update it fast enough, right? And so maybe me being the only video with this lady's name in the stream will be benefited by the search results, right? Right? Okay. Well then. We're gonna do a Blue Church card of the show on this special day, the day after election. Now, what occurred to me that a lot of people are deeply mind controlled right now, and they think that Hitler has just been elected and they're Jews or something. Blue Church card of the show is the Jack of Spades. And so we're gonna have to give away some savings throws against that mind control. I think if they'd been here, they'd be all right already. But new people come in all the time.
Remember embody there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. All right, everybody, we better get those savings throws. If you're new here, you don't know how those go. That's it. You're swimming in mind control and may believe horrible things like that your right to terminate the fetus is in danger, or such things. And that's the sort of mind control you might be under, don't you know? Here you get a savings throw against that mind control if you make a choice between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your savings throw. I roll the die. If it's over 10, you take half damage from the mind control, and your day will be slightly more peaceful. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Survival is making it today with the disciples. That's a 12 for you. Socialist coming in strong with a 15. Paired up by wisdom, folks, also a 15. Heart, folks, you're going to need your hive mind chat. That's only the power of 8 for you. Only the power of 8. Where is this? Again. This one definitely direct and legit. And that 20 on the Indigo for the Indigo kids today. You're +3 to tomorrow's saves. +3 for the Indigo kids. Congratulations. You got to see Beholder.
This is Paul, and just a little quick video.
All these forces they don't understand. The fact that there's war coming, all these things, they don't even know what they're doing. And yet, they're already playing the game.
That's what it's all about.
That our tools were small enough and around long enough that we could actually play with them and experiment with them and get to know them and learn to think outside the box. Is that everybody there was thinking outside the box because we'd all come from outside the box. Everybody Nobody talks about thinking outside the box. They go inside the box and tell everybody in there that they should learn to think outside the box. If you really want people to think outside the box, go find people who are from outside the box, because those people can't think anywhere but outside the box. That's where we were, all of us to one extent or another in those days. It's not where we are now.
There's a reality that you and Paul touch on when it comes to like people getting what they need versus what they want, that you and Paul kind of see pretty clearly, and I'm trying to learn how to see that way too.
Oh, that's my faith in the arenic nature of the agency. I know a lot of you might be upset. You might think that your teenage daughters will no longer be able to spread their legs for every Tom, Dick, and Harry without the risk of having a child, because you can't trust Tom, Dick, or Harry, right? So, casino deck card of the show is the Queen of Clubs. The Queen of Clubs. We're going to do a little bit of adjunct professing. Let's see here. What is it? Is it this one? Yes. This part here from this morning's Pastor Paul. This morning's Pastor Paul.
Faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. And I think part of the reason the greatest of these is love is because you need to love to know. We wind up doing all sorts of knowing, but you need to love to know. Another one of the things that she said in the video of how they work, especially in this culture where we have some strong controls on knowing, prevent a lot of knowing in that way.
Yeah, I'd say that's epistemological. You know, it's expertise. You know,
Yes.
is kind of this anal. Well, I'm not going to tell you what my colleague used. You know,
Yes.
is kind of this anal. Well, it's kind of this anal. Well, I'm not going to tell you what my colleague used to describe it, but you know, it's just kind of this anal. You're condemned to get more and more and more focused, and
Right.
you're inherently threatened.
Darling, Esther, we call that reciprocal narrowing. Reciprocal narrowing. We have to use a lot more syllables, but at least we're not saying anal.
By any sort of synthetic whatever.
Right.
And actually, I think the beauty, one of the many myriads of beauties of Polanyi's subsidiary focal integration is it shows, and this is the flaw.
Subsidiary focal integration?
In modernist epistemology is
Wait, it's the flaw in modernist epistemology?
we all of Polanyi's subsidiary focal integration is it shows, and this is the flaw in modernist epistemology is we all presume knowledge is focal, that you focus on it. But he said no. For it to sing, you've got to put it at the subsidiary. So if you took experts, quote unquote.
What the hell does Miriam, help. What the hell is at the subsidiary? What does even subsidiary mean? Am I sure? Yes, you're seeing this. Look. What is
subsidiary?
Furnishing aid or support, auxiliary of
subsidiary,
of secondary importance,
subsidiary,
of relating to or constituting a subsidy, a grant or gift of money, such as available to you in the top of the Hive Mind chat right now. You could make subsidiary. You want to make subsidiary with me, don't you? Don't you?
Now what'll that asshole think of next?
Is anybody got a dime?
I listen to him. I think he is telling us the truth. That is indeed what he wants. Those of you who are sort of sniffing for duplicity or grift or dishonesty, I don't smell any of that here. I think he's telling us. I see this guy. I see both of these guys, but I see this guy as being very, very genuine and honest. He is telling us exactly what he thinks.
We all presume knowledge is focal, that you focus on it. But he said, no, for it to sing, you got to put it at the subsidiary. So if you took experts, quote unquote, and put them as subsidiaries to the larger vision of whatever your university, or in your case, your corner of the internet, and you know, that sort of a thing. If you put the people at the subsidiary and together, you can invite this transformative vision. That's how you navigate forward. And then those transformations, those integrations, it kind of in reverse catch things up as parts in a whole. Right. So for Polanyi, it's always kind of this lurching backward, break in of insight from beyond that then catches everything up in it. And that's the healing. I would use the word parachoretic dynamic of good knowing. And
this world will devastate you. And rejoice, although this world will penetrate you. And rejoice, although you will not survive. Rejoice, you'll never make it out alive.
Excellent rehearsal, gentlemen.
And rejoice, your hair, it smells like burning hair. Oh, rejoice, your nails all got chewed off. Oh, rejoice, and holy fuck, you're bleeding there. Oh, rejoice, you burned your whole beard off. Rejoice, despite the fact this world will hurt you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will kill you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will tear you to shreds. Rejoice because you're trying your best.
Hey, I love that one. That's gorgeous. Thank you, brother. Wait, who's that?
Andrew Jack.
All right, sorry for the cognitive interrupt. I didn't have the right bit loaded yet. But remember this part.
You got to put it at the subsidiary. So if you took experts, quote unquote, and put them as subsidiaries to the larger vision of whatever your university, or in your case, your corner of the internet, and that sort of a thing. If you put the people at the subsidiary and together, you can invite this transformative vision. That's how you navigate forward. And then those transformations, those integrations, it kind of in reverse catch things up as parts in a whole. Right. So for Polanyi, it's always kind of this lurching backward, break in of insight from beyond that then catches everything up in it. And that's
like you give people propofol, you take them out of consciousness. It's a general anesthetic, and as you bring them back in, what you can see is when they're unconscious, the brain breaks down into local networks, and then when they become conscious, it reconfigures as a multi-scale small world network, and that of course lines up with Tononi's theory in some pretty important ways. Or a similar way, you can forget what it's another anesthetic was used, and I was talking with Brett Anderson about this recently, and you bring people back, and you can see also self-organizing criticality kicking in again. And that's because the firing and the wiring actually mutually constrain each other. And you can actually do this with binocular rivalry too. So you have an image that's presented to two fields of vision, and they can't be held together. And so phenomenologically you switch between them. And then you can see the self-organizing criticality. This area is firing in synchrony, corresponding to seeing the triangle, and then that breaks up criticality, and this area fires in synchrony when you're now seeing it as the square. And you can actually track the consciousness with the flipping of the self-organizing criticality. So it's already being done experimentally. And then the thing about those is they're not neuroanatomically based. They're functionally based. And what's important about those is they actually point to more comprehensive models, because self-organizing criticality and small world network formation also reliably correlate with measures of general intelligence, which supports the argument I was trying to make that there's a deep connection between the machinery of intelligence and the machinery of consciousness. And so you can start to get empirically tractable ways of testing the very theoretical proposals I was bringing out.
Welcome. That's the first part of that Vervaeke bit, the small world networking and the coming online and the insight reminded me of what this Esther lady was saying, and I thought I'd run the two together. The back half of that clip was a little excessive.
Healing, I would use the word parachoretic dynamic of good knowing. And I argue that we all know that if we can ride a bike, if we can play football, if we can make an omelet, if we can garden, it's everywhere. You can't deny it. So I tend to start with people on bicycles and talk about that for a really long time,
right.
You know,
or swimming.
See, this whole thing, this bit here is that it's putting knowledge and facts in its proper place in the intentionality network, and by making it subsidiary to divine inspiration vertically from within. All right.
garden, it's everywhere. You can't deny it. So I tend to start with people on bicycles and talk about that for a really long time,
right.
You know,
or swimming. That all sounds well and good, but really, how do I get there? Okay, you said this whole beautiful thing, and I know many of you, especially out there on the YouTube channel, are going to say, you know, I have problems believing this stuff. Yeah, I get it. The thing is, a lot of people who say I have problems believing this stuff think that the way to answer those problems is by theory. And generally speaking, no. You just don't work that way. You don't ride a bike. You don't learn to ride a bike by theory. You don't learn to swim by theory. You can watch a lot of videos about swimming, but I promise you will not learn to swim without getting in water.
See, like when you guys make the premiere of the branding, I can see it being 2.5 minutes, but normally I need like a minute or 30-second size clips. So, you know, do your fancy premiere, but then also do
talk about that for a really long time,
right.
You know,
or swimming.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of.
So this is how bad I have failed. The Seething's throws for mind control. Dum dum da dum da da dum da da dum da da dum dum da dum. da da dum dum da dum.
It's that bad.
And whoosh.
Welcome, therefore, then, to the first lie, coping with our Kamala Harris loss. The stream for November 6th, November, the day after Election Day in America in 2024. 2024. Welcome. I'm your host, General Griswold Gaius Grimm of the First LARP Ingression Protocol and member of the Sacred Order of Foolish Transparency. Hello. I see the assassins have failed, and as part of our coping with our Kamala Harris loss stream, before we get to the big lie, stay tuned. We'll get there right at the end. The part of the cope we can have is that what our current situation is, despite it being November, nothing legally is we still have the rest of November and the entire month of December, as well as a couple of days in January, to make the prophecy of the first debate ring true.
About to go into a dark winter. And
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. While we might be facing the Dictator Supreme and the prelude to Emperor Vance and the Project 2025 and the mass deportation of all of our friends and tranny neighbors, we still have these months with our weekend at Biden's president to install, take action, set things up to make sure that our protected rights, such as becoming subsistent on pharma for our, because we watched all the porn and it twisted our mind and made us want to be girls, and now we cut our dicks off. What you guys you're a self-terminating problem. What? No, they're gonna get artificial wombs. Agency deck card of the show is the 9 of Hearts. Remember,
There is no agency. We want what's best.
And don't forget, the bad orange man is going on trial on the day after Thanksgiving or something, right? Plus, I see the assassins have failed, but they might not, and there's months left. Let's see, what other copes do we have? Oh, we have the big lie cope. The big lie. You see, people currently in hysteria over the froth that the mainstream media had worked up vilifying our president-elect. In that hysteria, the thing is, it occurred to me that if they could see one lie, right, it could start a domino effect of a revelation of the lies that would lead to their psychological release from the mind control and the suffering symptoms the events on the television boxes are causing them. And so what would be a good first lie to say, look, the mainstream media has been lying to you. Look here, and then now you feel better, right? He's not that, or maybe he's not that bad. I don't know. Maybe it's not that. I do want to talk to Chezi about the priest and the earmarking thing that happened at that one event. Oh, and special thanks to the Shadow Cabal for making this whole show possible.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
Oh, and I do have this piece of cope written on this card that might help you deal with the loss. of our candidate, that Harris lady. Um, you see, what runs the world more than politics is money, and when money comes into play, it's because there are people that want to buy things. And one of the things that there is a market for in our society, for whatever reason, perhaps they take the cells from the aborted fetuses and use them to taste flavors before they make the chemicals that you eat. Maybe that's what they do. But there's people that buy aborted fetuses, you see. And since the market exists, I can assure you, there will be ways for you to bring your product to that market by the order of Baal. And you see, like, as we've covered in our rollback abortion stream way back when, even if there's an abortion access crisis, an emergency crisis is declared, then it gives the Secretary of the Veterans Administration the authority to provide abortion despite the laws within the states thereof. So that's a piece of cope. That's a piece of cope. And now we get to the big list.
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast magic missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting magic missile. Why are you casting magic missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now it's just enmity for the womb again. The big lie is thou you shall not surely die. But if I believe that if we can get those in existential crisis over the current turn of events that need help coping with our Kamala Harris loss, the way to go about it is to reveal to them the enmity for the womb. You see, it's the womb that makes the woman, not the hole you stick it in. And the hatred that's being demonstrated openly and publicly by those in power for the womb is what we call enmity. And once you recognize the enmity for the womb and combine it with that part where Jesus is dealing with the devil, and the devil says, I have all of these kingdoms of the earth. Do you want them? Then you understand that all of the kingdoms of the earth have enmity for the womb and the life that you are and the light of Christ that you bring with you as an image bearer of God. And so the important way to deal with the cope is recognize that's who you accidentally been deceived into siding with. And the way and the truth and the life is more along the lines of be not afraid. Be not afraid. And if you're not afraid, you're not controllable. It's like just the slogan, be not afraid, is like a +5 to mind control in most situations. Bye, embody. Oh, Hezzy was. Hey. Turns out Hezzy was there, but Chad also dropped us a link. What's this link? Did you fix that the redirect thing? Can I do that now, Chad? 24 more minutes. Oh, but it's weekly news tonight. That's worth it. That's worth it. Here's that link again. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there. What? You want? Okay, fine. Here, we got 24 minutes to fill, guys. Here, have a link.
Oh shoot, where was I going with this? Attention.
Did you get that on video? No. Mom, I'm not going. No, that's I'll show you later. Look, the gator obviously. Hey, yo! I just feel bad for this kid. My God. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, there was that one other thing. In case anybody missed it, missed it.
Vice President is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020.
This is what you need to have seen from the election coverage, really.
So you asked, are there any places that the Vice President is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
So you asked, are there any places that the Vice President is overperforming Joe Biden?
That's whether or not she outperformed, our lovely Kamala Harris outperformed Joe Biden in the election with the 20 million mystery votes. Okay, then there's also this. You see, what happened was, let me see if I can find. Yeah, I can find it. I can find it in like a minute 7. This means that the individual's psyche is far from being safely synthesized. On the contrary, it threatens to fragment only too easily under the onslaught of unchecked emotions. While this situation is familiar to us from the studies of anthropologists, it is not so irrelevant to our own advanced civilization as it might seem. We too can become dissociated and lose our identity. We can be possessed and altered by moods or become unreasonable and unable to recall important facts about ourselves or others, so that people ask, "What the devil has gotten into you?" We talk about being able to control ourselves, but self-control is a rare and remarkable virtue. All right. So Kale over on the X Twitter platform is making a big deal because he found this.
Again, if you want to get in the conversation, if you're here on the two-way platform, please raise your electronic hand. If you didn't watch last night, the coverage is all on YouTube, and I particularly recommend the midnight episode.
So those are the 3 host guys, and apparently their backstory is relevant, and then they have randos on, and it's like, oh guys, look, they're TLCing. I'm like, okay, that's great. The fourth wall is breaking. Yeah, that's fine. And but watching that put this in my algorithm where we found another group that was doing that.
Plain dead. Y'all tap dancing because I never agreed with nothing.
They talking about coming to get us and taking us to the Walmart detention camps.
You know, I just would like
They
to
gonna take them to they gotta take them to the distribution
You
center.
didn't like the
They
way
gotta
he
go
was
work them like
talking.
jobs.
So instead of you actually combating the shit that he said, because he tried to downplay women and their traumas and their responses to having people try to dictate their bodies, instead of you
They're not trying to dictate your body. It's not about that. It's about saving your children. What? Oh, anyway, but we did the train, so we'll just end with this Chad commercial since no one came in, and go head over to watch We're Worldly News Tonight, episode 2.